Yes, this is DJ Ski, and this is the Sports Card Strategy Show. You already know there is no off-season.
I'm Jeff Wilson, and I'm loving the content here on the Sports Card Strategy Show. There is no off-season.
All right, you ready to rock?
Ready to go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at NoOffSeason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's NoOffSeason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from MarketMoversApp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at MarketMoversApp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. I'm Paul Hickey. I've got my main man, Kendall the Lefty McKee, with me, and I've just realized something that I need to update our intro, especially on Wednesdays, so that we can see Kendall dancing to the rock music.
Where the party people at? Let's go, Paul. Come on.
What's up? We're going to bring it strong today, Lefty. We're in a good mood. We're talking cards. We got a lot going on. For those of you that are new to the show, we feel like there's 3 solid ways to make money flipping sports cards in general. One being buying raw and grading. Number 2 being buying already graded cards with a selling marker in mind and flipping them graded. And number 3, which we've become better at this year, is flipping at card shows. And there's obviously a lot within those 3 categories. On Wednesdays, we talk about that second category, which is buying already graded cards and flipping them, or as Kendall likes to say, graded to graded or grade to grade.
Graded to graded, baby.
Grade to grade. Still graded.
Still graded.
And so before we get into that though, we're gonna talk about several things on today's show. We have an overlooked NBA superstar that we're gonna get to. We have last minute football cards snipes. We have a certain WNBA player who Kendall has loved for a long time, since before she's been in the WNBA. Some auction updates.
Deladova?
A soccer player that we're going to talk about auction updates. We used to talk soccer a lot on the Sports Card Strategy Show a few years ago, and we haven't talked as much soccer, so we'll talk about a soccer player. And Kendall, let's talk about some upcoming releases later on in the show. But first, I'll give my little update here. For those of you who are familiar with the Sports Card Strategy Show and the Football Card Quest, you will know that I have gone off on Panini at least 3 or 4 times in the last month about how long it took to get us our RPS first looks from the rookie premiere back in May. And guess what's showing up at my house today per FedEx? Those Fockers will finally be in my possession. So people who bought JJ McCarthy cards from me before he got injured in a pre-sale, you're going to get your cards, and then I'm going to figure out what to do with the rest of them. So I'm actually excited about that. So Lefty, I know there's a specific NFL player that you're excited about, because I listened to Lefty Cards the other night with you and Turner. So tell us about how things are going with your guy. Who is your guy, and how are the auctions going? Are you auctioning him off? What's going on here? Tell the people.
I couldn't be more pumped about this, man. I mean, this is literally, not only is it a nod to what we've been talking about with the formula, because this card specifically was in the formula and it was on a graded to graded show, I'm pretty sure. So this is a card that I picked up during a show. I picked up 3 of these, and I just full on believed in the take immediately when I took it. And I said that Gardner Minshew would be the starter week 1 for the Las Vegas Raiders. And lo and behold, Paul, I got the absolute privilege of having that notification come across my screen that I sent to you and said, Paul, I'm rich now, because I bought 3 Garner Minshew Prism PSA 10s, average rookie card. I didn't go crazy with him. Obviously, I think before taxes, I think nothing was over $20. With taxes, it went over $20 and stuff. But I bought 3 PSA 10s with him, and I said, you know what? If this works, awesome. If it doesn't, I'm only out $60. And so the privilege of this is I have 2 of them on auction right now. One on a 7-day auction, one on a 10-day auction. And it looks like I'm going to clear my initial investment at least. And so I'm looking to probably have these cards sell between $30 and $40 a piece, which is kind of, it's been a while since I really sold a bunch of cards in this demographic of sales. And so the cool thing is when you take 13% of a $40 card, it's honestly more easier to swallow than it is for a $2,000 card that's getting to 13% taken out from it. So, I'm like, man, I'm not going to be making that much margin. And then I look at the math and I'm like, oh, actually, this is an okay play, And so it's not the best play I've ever made, but it's a play that I'm excited about. It's a play that I'm probably going to make money on. I guess we'll know for certain next week. But it's a certain play that the formula said was going to work. And I'm able to hold back one of them with an expectation that he's probably going to hit a player selling marker in the first couple of weeks of him being a quarterback for the Raiders. Now, this isn't a play where I think they're going to make the playoffs and he's going to potentially push for a spot in the MVP rankings or whatever. I mean, like Minshew is not that. Minshew mania is all for a meme. Absolutely. That's what this is. But, if I can leverage a little bit of a meme to make some money, I'm in for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. There's a lot in there. First of all, you executed the already graded formula strategy to perfection with this one. It was a card that we ran through the formula at nooffseason.com. For those of you who aren't familiar, check out a free 30-day trial at nooffseason.com today. Basically, our formula-based sports card rankings rank card by card. Usually a couple hundred cards on each tab. One is the raw to grade. The other one is the already graded. And Kendall executed this perfectly with Gardner Minshew, just going ahead and buying his base Prism rookie PSA 10 for just under $20, and he's profiting from it. He bought 3 of them. That's the other thing I wanted to get to. So buying 3 of them kind of allows you to implement a unique selling strategy where you can kind of sell 2 of them to recoup your initial investment and then some, with the announcement of him being the starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think that's a critical takeaway for people out there who are looking to make money flipping, because buying is part of it. Selling is the other part. They're both equally as critical. You got to buy in at the target cost to leave yourself margin, but then you have to execute the sale at the right time. And so what Kendall's doing here is leaving himself 1 card for a potential performance spike early on in the season. And I agree. We're about to probably send out a sell alert. So you can text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727. That's sports cards. For those of you, don't put any other extra characters in there. 1-833-992-5727. You'll get sell alerts sent to your mobile device. And Gardner Minshew is probably going to be in there because, like Lefty said, now is a great time with that news that he's been named the starter. Typically, we see prices move up, and that was our initial selling marker for that already graded card. Now, I like what Lefty's doing here, holding 1 back for a potential performance spike, because if he does come out early on in the season and, maybe throw some touchdown passes to Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, or, he's been known to rush for a touchdown every once in a while and get the crowd fired up. So if he does anything like that, leads the Raiders to some wins early on in the season, that card from where it's going to end for Lefty next week, it could 2 or 3x from there if that stuff happens on the field. So I think it's worth holding 1 of those back. So Lefty, I think good work there, man. And anything else you want to add there before we say hello to the live chat?
I mean, if both of these cards sell for $30, $35, then I've essentially made my money back. And this is the play that I like to make pretty commonly. It's been a while since we talked about this, but I really like the strategy of buying 3 of them because I did this with the Lamine Yamal mega cracks as well. I sold the 2 mega cracks for more than I bought 3 of them with. And now I'm holding a mega cracks parallel for whenever the peak of his prices is, because I don't think we're even near that, And so I think with this card specifically, I'm not going to hold it as long as a Lamine Yamal, by the way. Gardner Minshew's not a 17-year-old phenom, but Gardner Minshew probably is going to have a Brock Bauer effect that's going to help him, and Zamir White, I believe, is in that backfield, and that's going to be something to watch too, and so there's a lot going on there. I'm excited about Minshew. People love him. He's not only a card darling, but a news darling. People just love his story. I don't know how whoever is Gardner Minshew's PR director needs to be Baker Mayfield's PR director, because they are the same guy. I'm convinced, Baker just plays twice a week, they're the same guy. One of them has a mustache. So, but I just love the fact. And then one of them, just a little update for you. One of my auctions that's on a 7-day auction already has 40 views, and it's been up for a day and a half. 40 views, 12 watchers, 8 bids. So, that's pretty good numbers for a Gardner Minshew card. And then the 10-day one already has 5 bids and 5 watchers as well. And I expect that to peak after this one is off the market. And the reason I only bought 3 of these, by the way, is there was only 3 available that I could buy at the time. And there's some savvy people out there, because if you look online right now, Paul, there's more than 3 available. So I'm just saying, I have a feeling that there are other people out there making this play with us.
Absolutely. And Field Cards in the live chat says, congrats on the play, Lefty. Definitely a great play. Shane Graham's in the live chat. Good to see him. George Schurer, Arturo Torres in the live chat. And that's on youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Over on IG, Sports Card Strategy, Yeg Slabs and I met face-to-face at Fanatics Fest. What's up, brother? From Canada. Fantasy Hobby, Gavin Stint. Field Cards was over on IG, and he came over to YouTube. I think that's a solid move, because you can get in when we're looking at you. The IG live chat, I have to go over to a separate tab. Royal Palm Sports Cards, Harvey Hobby Halls, Toronto Card Collector, Jay Slabs and Cards, Jay Bolo Cards, 650 Cards, Goose Card Games, Mason Daniels, Peaceful Pulls, Crabtown Cards, Jay Harder, Gem Mint Masters, Lux BL, AW Nelson 82, Kohar Antiques Collectibles. AW Nelson 82, while I'm over looking at ourselves on IG Live right now, says, as a school teacher, I don't have a lot to put into buying cards. What are some cheaper cards that I could buy now and flip to make some profit? So actually, school teacher, great question. I'm going to shout out our formula-based rankings at nooffseason.com, because we got to keep it moving on the show here. But our formula-based rankings at nooffseason.com, on the raw to grade tab, there are cards that, you can get for the target cost for under $10, and you can make money grading them. I think Lefty, most people who have made money flipping sports cards would agree that when you're starting with a small budget, the raw to grade play is probably the best way to increase your budget. Whereas to really make money on, your Gardner Minshew play is actually a decent example of where you can have a smaller budget and buy in. It's just harder to find those. And actually, I will encourage you, AW Nelson 82, stick around for the rest of this show, because we're gonna count down 5 of our top sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip. And I'll just tell you that one of them is $16 right now. Another one is $27.50, and those are cards that you don't even have to get graded. The tricky part is going to be finding them, because to Lefty's point, when he found his Gardner Minshew, there were only 3 of them that he saw that were there, right? So the Alpha Collection is in the house. Says Ellie Topps Chrome is a great starter card. So that's actually number 1. Alpha Collection, that is number 1 on our formula-based sports card rankings from a raw to grade standpoint. It's a perfect example, actually. The Alpha Collection's right. It's a perfect example of a card that you can get for under $10. It should grade well because it's from a brand new release. It's a top player. It's his rookie card, and it has high upside in a PSA 10, and still pretty decent in a PSA 9. I will say this though, to people that are just getting into grading cards, like maybe AW Nelson. You got to move fast with a card like the Ellie De La Cruz one, because the reason being is because it's a new release. So what happens is, and this will resonate with people that have been around for a while, but people that are just getting into the hobby might not understand this yet. What happens is, every time a newer release comes out, it typically supersedes the previous release. Not necessarily that Topps, because Topps Chrome will stand the test of time, especially for a player like Ellie De La Cruz. But the problem is, the price on the PSA 10 is going to go down because of supply and demand. There's going to be more Ellie De La Cruz rookie cards that hit the market because this is his rookie season release calendar. Topps Chrome is not the last release on the calendar. So there are going to be more releases that come out, and there's going to be more PSA 10s. There's going to be more and more cards. That's probably even a bigger factor, is there's going to be more and more cards submitted to PSA, more and more PSA 10s. So the supply will increase. The demand will stay the same. So the price will go down. So if you really want to maximize the return, AW Nelson and others that we're speaking to that are sort of newer to grading cards, you got to move fast on that. So hello to One Galaxy Germ in the live chat. It's good to see some old friends.
Yeah, that's old name.
Johnny Utah Sports Cards, Kohar Antiques Collectibles, Card Commanders. AW Nelson says they appreciate it in the IG live chat. Of course, that's what we're here for. So Arturo Torres, we're starring your question. We'll get to it at the end of the show. If you really want your questions answered, though, the best way to do it is to go to nooffseason.com/ask and submit it there and get a free 30-day trial if you're not already a member. Lefty, before we count down our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip, let's talk about the soccer player that you mentioned, because that was the soccer player that I was going to talk about. Lamine Yamal, 17-year-old Spaniard phenom. And I just wanted to kind of go through real quick my Topps Now play. I think it's helpful to the audience, and I don't know that I do this enough. I think we need to start doing a little bit more. But going through like our results in terms of the plays that we make, especially related to Topps Now and Panini Instant stuff. So I bought 20 Lamine Yamal base Topps Now national debut. So national kit debut. Like, he's in his national kit. The card was called National Debut. Instead of an RC shield, it had a national debut shield. I got out of the 20 cards, I got 14 10s. So they typically grade well. You typically get a high gem rate with the Topps Now card. We caution people though, like, don't just go buy any Topps Now card. Make sure that it's some kind of significance within that player's card ecosystem. So they've got it can't be a player that has a ton of cards out and not be a special card. It has to be something that's unique to that player. So Lamine Yamal has more and more cards coming out. But this one was his national debut in his national kit. And it was around the Euros. So it was basically specific to the Euros, which was happening a couple of months ago. And so out of the 14 10s, I've listed all of them, and I've sold 2 of them for $49.99 each. And to your point, Lefty, about not being super excited about like where your Minshews are at yet because of the eBay fees coming out. But you will be excited about it. But to your point about it, like calculating those eBay fees on, say, a $50 sale, I'm a little bit worried, but I agree with you, because when I went back, like, I track all of my purchases down to the total net profit. And so on these cards, you know, you're less than $4 per card in when you buy them in bulk like that with Topps. And then you grade them at PSA. So that's an additional, I say, $21 per card, because you're including the shipping cost across that bulk submission. So long story short, eBay fees, everything taken out, cleared a total profit on these 2 Yamal sales so far of $25 per card. So when you pay, so that's basically, doubling your money on an investment. And I still have 18 total cards being auctioned off right now, several of them with bids. So I've got, guaranteed at least one more currently active Yamal card selling. I've got several more that just became available. I've staggered these auctions, so there's going to be more and more coming available. Basically, and we get this question a lot, like, what do you do when you have 20 of a card, right? And we answered, what do you do when you have 3 of a card a minute ago with the Minshew example.
Yeah,
but what do you
with
do
the
when you have
formula,
20 of a card?
There's some of them that are like, you need 30 of these to make $1,000 profit.
Yeah. And so, yeah, exactly. So I stagger them out. Like, I want to get rid of them all pretty quick, but I stagger them out. So with the Yamals, I think I listed like 2 per day for like 10 days straight. And so each day there's like 2 more that are available. They're listed at, say, 8 and 8:30 Eastern time, roughly. So Yamal auctions going well, not selling for huge money, but still netting really a 2x profit on the investment on a per card basis. So it's making me want to be on tops.com even more to try to figure out what's next, I know. And I'm going to get to my Caitlin Clark in a minute. She was the WNBA player that I teased in the opening because I've got her Panini instance up for sale right now. Before that, I want to say hello to Alandis Brassel. He says that the Ohtani Topps Chrome prices dropped while he was waiting, getting a card back from PSA. So it's funny that you say that, Alandis, because that's the example I was thinking of when I was talking about Ellie's Topps Chrome rookie, and I was thinking about it holding at least some kind of value in the next few years because of Ohtani's. Like, Ohtani's still holds that value, but you're right. That definitely, if you're waiting on an Ohtani coming back, or if you were back in 2018, certainly, like that's just kind of the way the market works. Oh, my shoes in the house. Good to see my shoes. It's like a reunion of some OGs here. Love it.
Shoes?
Love it. All right, so Lefty, can we get into our Caitlin Clark grades?
Yeah.
On the Panini instant. This is one of us has a W and the other one has an L. Guess which one? Everybody guess which one real quick.
Look at the screen.
Just start throwing them in the live chat here. I'm smiling. Lefty's shaking his head. This is super obvious. So I texted Lefty as soon as my grades popped for the Caitlin Clark, and I'm going to share my screen here again at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. The card we're talking about, for those of you on Apple and Spotify, and it's very important. The card that we're talking about is very important because not all cards are treated equal, as we just explained, but also, especially when they're coming out as like these on-demand releases, right? So her 2024 Panini Instant WNBA Draft Night card is the card we're talking about. No, this was like the first Indiana Fever card of hers. There were a lot of Iowa cards out before this, and there have been a lot of other Indiana Fever cards since this one. And this is the one that I elected to invest in. I bought 25 of them directly from Panini. They got to me in a reasonable amount of time. I got them to PSA right away. It took PSA a little longer, and I'm not sure why. I think the same thing happened to Lefty. But when the grades popped, they were by far the best Panini instant grades I have ever had in my life. 21 out of 25 Gem Mint 10s. 21 out of 25. As I was revealing these, I was going absolutely ape crap. Just going nuts. And as you can see, These fuckers are popping off. I mean, I'll read them off to you guys. I've got pretty much all of them listed. So what I did with these is I was like, Caitlin Clark's hot. We're back from the Olympics. She's lighting it up for the Fever. She's breaking records. I can't drop these out like the Yamals. I got to get these out quick. So I basically just probably listed all of these across 5 days right away. And I started listing them before the PSA. The PSA package is scheduled to arrive at my house tomorrow. I did not want to wait to list Caitlin Clark. And that's another selling strategy, right? Because you got, when someone's hot, you gotta just go ahead and get them listed, And so actually Lefty just dropped me something in the private chat. We'll get to that in a second, because that's a actually perfect segue to what I just said. When someone is hot, you gotta get them listed. When they're either a performance spike or they're in the news for something big, you gotta get them listed. So I actually staggered out Caitlin Clark 5 every day for 5 days, pretty much, in that 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time window. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 Caitlin Clark cards, over $100 each. Lefty, I'm no mathematician, but that's an F ton of money right there.
That is insane, my friend.
And they all have 3 days left, and they all have at least 3 bids on them. And the ones that aren't over $100 are at 89, 58, 81. I mean, my eBay alerts have been going off like crazy, and it's Caitlin Clark. It's Caitlin Clark 2024 Panini Instant WNBA Draft Night cards. We talked about this play on the Sports Card Strategy Show. Another reason why all of you need to wake up, pay attention, listen to what we're doing, follow us, brag about it, make the play, execute the play. Lefty, I'm pumped about my Caitlin Clark cards. As you can, I mean, I'm going to easily, this might beat my Victor Wembanyama Sports Illustrated for Kids cards as my best play of all time.
I mean, what are you, like $20 into all those cards?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a $3.96 per card acquisition cost from Panini. It's like probably a $20 to $21. So it's I'm under $25 per card
right now.
Yeah, and there's still 3.5 days on all of these.
Yeah.
So now I think the ceiling is probably 150 per PSA 10, but I've got a PSA 9 at 110.50 right now. And that could be a good segue over to you, Lefty, because
that is a good segue.
You didn't get many gems. How's your
so here's what happened with my 25. So Bonafide, this play is gonna make us money. So wah Kendall, Lefty McKee is whining about making money in sports cards. Wah. The problem is this play has never not worked for me. Because when we have decided to get in on these kind of plays, they have never not worked for me. We have always done well with the instant. Don't even open the package. Send it straight to PSA, straight from Panini. They worked for the Wimbies. They've worked for our draft night. They've worked for our other, I've done this so many times. And so there are some times where I'm like, maybe I just make this my play from now on. Just do this over and over and over. This is the first time that I've been bit by the bug. This is the problem. So when they came in, I had 25 of these. Immediately, they were selling for, I think, $50 raw or something like that. Me and Turner were like, do we just sell them all right now? And so I ended up selling 10 of mine right away. Turner sold all of his right away. Paul sent all of his to PSA. So we all kind of did a little different strategy here. I made enough money on the raw cards to pay for the grading for the other and for the other ones combined. I already made my money. So it's not really that big of a deal. The problem is the 15 that I sent in, I don't know if maybe I got a miscut graded sheet or something like that. Like maybe my sheet, all of them looked fine, but maybe there was off centering or something on the sheet that I had. But I got 11 nines, 3 8s, and 1 10 out of all of the 15 that I put in. The great thing about this card specifically is these aren't going to sell for $1. You know, like if we had a Bronny James come back right now with this same thing, I would be out so much money. But just like what you just said, these nines are selling for over $100 right now. So
Crazy.
I could not get them out of my possession fast enough. I literally said, PSA, sell these straight from your thing. Like I don't even want to see a 9 come into my house. So I'm listing them straight from the PSA website, which hopefully, you know, maybe we have another talking marker next week about this, because we'll see for sure. This is the second time I've done this, but this will be a mass sell to PSA. How does that work option? So, but yeah, so I've put all of mine on auction through PSA. Not excited about it, but wah. Lefty's still going to make money. I'm sure all of you guys are so upset about that. But yes, definitely not the return that Paul is going to get on this play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like first of all, 110 it's brutal, and it sucks that you only got 110. But on the bright side, like you said, you'll still make money, and it will be awesome to compare. Yeah, the PSA Vault eBay account sales from your end. Versus
that's gonna be
my sales.
That's gonna be great.
It'll be great. Yeah, great content, and like again, I do like to puff our chest out when I feel confident about what we're doing. And I feel confident that, I mean, we try so many things, and that's why we're good content creators, because we're in the trenches trying these things. We're not just breaking and trying to show big cards. And in fact, we're doing none of that. We're not only going to card shows and showing you deals. Like we're grinding online, doing things that all of you can be doing. And that's what we typically base this show around. It plays that all of you can be making. And then taking all that information and putting it back out to you guys in a useful way, like this. And I think Lefty and I both get equally as excited to have this firsthand information rather than kind of like just be regurgitating other people's stuff. So we'll report back to you guys on all of this, and two totally different experiences with the Caitlin Clark Panini Instant play. Now, I love our audience because our audience is super smart as well. And One Galaxy Germ has a good question here. With the WNBA 2024 Prism coming out at the end of October, is there urgency to move her Panini Instants before then? The Alpha Collection says those Prism RCs will be money. I would say, though, I'll say this.
That is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is probably what he means. You're right. So they will be expensive. Yeah. I think that. So to answer Galaxy Germ's question, historical pattern recognition would tell me that yes, all the Panini Instant Caitlin Clark stuff that's out there, and all of her Bowman U stuff and her Caitlin Clark collection stuff will go down because of Prism coming out, and that part of that'll be just simple market economics with supply and demand. Part of it'll be because that is a flagship card that should stand the test of time. But I think that the exception could be like low serial numbered stuff. Anything with scarcity from the previous releases. But I mean, these Panini Instants, like, we'll be able to see the print. I mean, actually, like, I could tell you the print run on it right now. They put the print run on the back of the Panini Instant card. So there were, get ready for this. Get ready for this, everyone. This is the real reason why Galaxy Germ, we're not only are we offloading, I guess there's three real reasons. Number one, Kendall and I want the money right away.
Yeah.
That's number one, just being real with you guys. Number two, it is like, it is a hot card right now. Like, sell alert on this card because it is hot. Like, at Fanatics Fest, the dealers were selling these PSA 10s for $150 cash. But number 3, the print run on these, Lefty, do you want to take a guess on how many of these they printed? Are you looking it up right now? Are you cheating?
No, I'm not. I think I may have looked at it when they came out. So I'm going to say 22,000.
They printed 45,316 of these cards.
Let's go. Caitlin Clark to the moon.
So this is you want to talk about junk wax. You know what I mean? Like, this is junk on demand.
Yeah.
This is junk on demand, and we're making money off of it. So you got to. And oh, by the way, I started all these auctions at $49.99 for those of you who want to know. $49.99. Caitlin Clark is transcending the high bid. She's transcending the Panini instant jinx. I mean, this is great. So, Caitlin Clark. All right, now Lefty has breaking news. So, since Lefty found it during the show, and I said, look, when someone's hot, you sell them. I'm going to be adding this gentleman to my sell alert premium article at nooffseason.com that comes out tomorrow while Lefty tells you what we're talking about. What happened, Lefty, while I was talking?
As of 12 minutes ago, we have talked about this team quite a bit. But as of 12 minutes ago, there has been breaking news from the Sleeper app, which is generally pretty reliable, that Bo Nix has officially been listed as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. What I'm so happy about that is I made a very small potential play. I mean, very small, less than $30 on Zach Wilson, and I flag planted on Gardner Minshew because I knew both of these quarterback rooms were up in jeopardy. But I'm just glad that I made a bigger plant with Gardner Minshew than I did with Zach Wilson, because Bo Nix is now the starter, and you can just imagine. I'm sure Zach Wilson is third on this draft chart, on this draft, or on this what am I trying to say? Depth chart, not draft board. Depth chart, and I'm sure he might not even make the roster. I mean, why would you take 3 quarterbacks in? I mean, he'll probably be on the practice squad, but man. So Bo Nix going to be the starter. Sean Payton drafted him for a reason. He likes what he saw there. So we will get a rookie quarterback in the Denver Broncos backfield.
How good of a show are we? Now, right now, on PaniniAmerica.net, you can go buy Bo Nix Panini Instant NFL rookie card in a Broncos uniform from his preseason game. And as of this conversation, there are 3 days, 22 minutes, and 30 seconds left to buy as many of these fuckers as you want. Now, when you again, like, they're $9.99 a piece. It's a base card, but you can lower your acquisition cost down to under $4 if you buy, I think, 25 of them. So there's also a Michael Penix Jr. one. There's also a Michael Penix Jr. one, by the way. And a Drake May. So if you look, I've said, if you've listened to us recently, and many of you have, I have said I will never do this again because of my experience with the RPS first look cards taking 3 months to get to us. But
sounds like you're contemplating it.
This is tempting. This is tempting. What do you think, Lefty?
I think, it's his only card potentially in a Broncos uniform. This could be a play.
It's his only card currently where he's in an action shot in a Broncos uniform. There is Score a Treat. Score a Treat.
Gosh, come on.
Score a Treat.
Let's walk through this.
Green bats variation and orange pumpkins. Don't forget about those. But Bo Nix cards are doing very well overall right now because he's played well. I fully expect Bo Nix cards, his Bowman first in the Auburn, like the airbrushed Auburn uniform, which is a weird card. His Oregon cards. He's got Leaf cards. He's got wild cards. There's a ton of Bo Nix college cards.
So I'm looking at it right now. It's $99 if you buy the 25 pack. That's $4 a piece, I think, like that, or something like that. if that happens, they probably send these out. The auction's in 3 days. This one's probably not going to be one that you have to wait super long for. It's probably going to get here around, I don't know, maybe September 10th to be conservative. Is that fair?
Probably about right. Yeah, I would give them the benefit of the doubt on this. I think with the RPS, I think the reason why those didn't ship is because they had to get guys to sign them.
Yeah.
There were autographs in those. And this is just a photo that they should print in, they should start printing this in 4 days, right? And then hopefully try to get it out.
Yeah. So let's say September 10th they get to you. Immediately you turn that around, you send it to PSA. These are back to you second or third week of December, maybe.
Yes, or instead of that, because I don't think I would do that. Here's the move. Look at this pre-sale. So 62 of these have already sold pre-sale on eBay at $7.95. That's double the cost. So if you have 25 of these, you could double up that. And now with the announcement that he's the starter, what we need to do right now, we need to stop the show. Stop the show. Show's over. Lefty and I are going to go buy like 100 of these and then just pre-sell all of them for 2x. That's what all of you should do right now. Let's make the print run on Bo Nix double the print run of Caitlin Clark. Just through the sports card strategy show.
That's funny, man.
But in all seriousness, that's the move though, right? I mean, somebody KB3777 has already has the wherewithal to have ordered these, and they've ordered at least 75, right? Because
that is so crazy. How is he doing that?
62 of these for 2x.
But why?
And it's still going for 3. What morons? There's 62 morons, Lefty. They could go get these for $4.
Where
maybe they only want one of them. So actually that's the move, right? The move is these are $2 less than if you buy one of them. So this allows people to buy one of them for $2 less than they would have to pay Panini. That's why they're priced that way.
Capitalism.
That's good business. KB3777 knows what's up.
So what are we doing with this? Live, what are we doing?
I think I'm buying in. I think I'm buying in and pre-selling. But I'm telling you guys right now, as soon as this show's over, because Lefty and I got to do a good job finishing the show. I think I'm buying them and pre-selling them, because then whenever Panini gets them to me, I'm just shipping them all out to the people who bought them from me. And at this rate, why not auction them? Why not auction them? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy 25 and I'm going to auction them, and I'm going to start my auctions at like $2.99. 2 bids later, I'm in the black.
I'm going to do it with you.
Let's go. How many are you going to buy? 25?
I think we should do 50.
Oh, Lefty's up in the stakes. I mean, Bo Nix, like
$200.
Was Bo Nix in the RPS? Let's just make sure that we're not going to compete with other Bo Nix Panini Instant. I don't think he was in the RPS. Otherwise, I would have bought him. Penix and McCarthy. Yeah, see, and, I'm just looking at that eBay, like what's listed. Most of them are $9.75 or best offer. Most of them are around 10, but there's no other Bo Nix other than Score a Treat, which I would highly advise everyone to stay away from, by the way. Alpha Collection says Score a Treat are thinner than toilet paper. Yes, they are. I bought some Marvin Harrison Jr. Score a Treats because they were super cheap, and he doesn't have any other cards. So, yeah, that's the move. Lefty's going 50. I think I might go 50 also. See, then we don't have to worry about the condition. We don't have to worry about getting them back from grading, any of that stuff, right?
All right, let's live a little. 50 it is.
Lefty's buying 50 right now. I'm going to buy 50 as soon as the show's over. And then whenever these things get to us, I mean, Sean Payton offense, these things could be, we might be in mid-September if Bo Nix starts the season well. We might be rich. I might be able to pay off my mortgage with Bo Nix Panini instant cards. All right, let's say hello in the live chat. Card Commanders, BSC Sports Cards, Mike L. Sid, Live Family Cards, Joey D Cards, Iowa Dave Sports Cards, Shin Dog 6.0, Titan Panthers, a bunch of other people, Troy Travis, Sports Card Hub, Mac Pack Card Shop, Adrian Charlie, Harvey Hobby Halls. Yeah, actually, Harvey Hobby Halls said what I just said. But he had already said it first. Why not a buy it now instead of an, oh, no, he's asking. Okay. He says, why not a buy it now instead of an, well, like, you could do buy it now. That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, it's such a, because here's why I said that. Because those 62 that sold were listed at that price before this news came out. So now, in light of this news, what I'm saying is do an auction on some of them. And then if you want to do that's even better. Like, if we're buying, that's what I'm going to do, Lefty. That's what I'm going to do with my 50. I'm going to take 25 of them and do buy it now, and 25 of them and auction. And then we'll have some comparisons for the show. Hendon Hooker Prism Blue Ice PSA 10 sold on eBay for $1,000, but I don't see it on Card Ladder. Is this common? Live Family Cards says. Dude, if that card sold for $1,000, I need to list. My Hendon Hooker cards need to sell. I've got mine listed. MacPack Cards Shop says, everyone's soaking in this knowledge. This is a lot of freaking knowledge. This is a lot. Like, I don't think, Lefty, do you think any, like, I'm biased. You're less biased than I am. Do you think any other sports card podcast even sniffs the amount of value that we give out to people?
No, I mean, not that we have found. I mean, Greg Wilson, did I say that right?
No, I think, do you mean Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson. I was like, something doesn't sound right there. Jeff Wilson told us at the National, like, nobody's doing what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
A lot of people have told us that.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg Wilson. We love you.
Greg Wilson also said that at the National.
Greg, yeah, there was a guy named Greg Wilson and a guy named Jeff Wilson that said that at the National.
Order confirmed, my friends. It is in.
Oh, Lefty's in. What a great, this is the best show we've had in a long time. Do we even need it? You guys wouldn't even want us to do our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy graded and flip?
Yeah, this isn't buy graded and flip. This is buy raw, sell raw before you
buy
ever
raw.
see them.
This is actually perfect for this episode because the whole point of this episode anyway is to not have to grade your cards. So that's what we're doing with the Bo Nix, everybody. That's how we fit this. We shoehorned that fucker into this episode.
This Lefty, is how much I have in each card after taxes.
Okay, so Lefty has $4.24, just under $4.24 per card. So now he's going to list them. Are you going to do the 25-25 that I was thinking about?
No, I'm going to list all 50 of them on auction, but I'm going to start the auction at $4.25.
Heck yeah, I love that. Catawba Valley. God, I'm definitely butchering that. Catawba Valley Sports Cards says, awesome stuff, guys. Thank you. Awesome stuff to all of you. All of you listening on Apple, Spotify, youtube.com/Paul Hickey, Sports Card Strategy on Instagram, No Offseason Card on X, wherever you get your Sports Card Strategy show.
Go buy one from us.
Yeah, if you're Bo Nix fans, buy one from us.
You don't have to buy 50. Just go buy one. I'll send it to you.
That's the value prop. We're buying 50. You can buy one from Panini for $10 plus tax and shipping, or you can buy one from us for much less than $10, probably. I mean, unless these auctions. What if these auctions get above Panini's price? That would be
they could in 3 days.
They could. Yeah, that's true. They could in 3 days. 7 to 10. Are you doing 7-day auction or 10-day auction? Tell the people. 10-day auction. I love it. Larger run up to the NFL season. You got Bo Nix, starting quarterback. Even Oh My Shoes likes to play. Oh My Shoes, are you going to like this play instead of buying Christian Braun and Austin Reeves cards? That'd be great. That'd be great.
You've been roasting for Austin Reeves for 6 months.
Shoes is my guy. He knows it. Good to have him back. All right, top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip. This is probably the most boring part of the show, but you're still going to make money doing this. Not all these cards are going to be easy to find, but what I did here was I took 2 basketball cards, 3 football cards. I think there's plenty of opportunity to still buy top football players, quarterbacks, and potentially wide receivers. Today's August 21st when I'm saying these words. And I mean, that's more than enough time to buy a PSA 10 and have that thing rise over the next few weeks. And the thing I like about it is, even though you might be paying a little bit more for it than you would have like a few months ago, you don't have to hold it for a few months, right? So you only hold it for a couple of weeks. So on those football cards, I'll get to in a second. On the basketball cards that I'm going to go through right now, there's just 2 of them. You will have to hold these for a few months, but I don't think they're going to be this cheap much longer. And it is a NBA superstar, a top player in the NBA that is dirt cheap right now. And yes, he's injury prone. Yes, I could see people arguing that he is underachieved, but I would think all of those people, regardless of which side of the fence you're on, would agree that when he's on the court, he could be easily a top 10 player in the NBA. And he could perform like the best player in the NBA on any given night when he is healthy. And if you haven't shouted the words Zion Williamson into wherever you're listening to your podcast right now, I'll tell you Zion Williamson. So his 2019 Mosaic 209 base PSA 10, still a $16 card right now. And the formula says that you can make 57% ROI on this card selling it in October, because it should be a $30 card in October. Now, Lefty made the point earlier on in the show. You pay the same amount of eBay fees from a percentage standpoint, but it's far less from a dollar standpoint when you're holding a lower dollar card. That's why the 57% ROI. So the total net dollar amount is going to be much less than the next card I'm going to tell you about, but the ROI percentage is higher. It's not going to be easy to find this card for $16, or maybe it is. Go to nooffseason.com and check it out on Zion's player profile page. His Optic Hollow 158 PSA 10 right now is the other Zion card that you can make money on, already graded. And at a $128 target cost, you can make 41%. It's a $225 card in October. Now, how do we get these numbers? Simple. Target cost equals most recent comp. Okay. So people are getting these cards for this amount of money. It doesn't mean that there's one available. It just means that someone got one for this cost very recently. And then on the upside, the selling marker of October, that is historical data based on just a normal October for Zion, for that particular card. So no performance spike, anything like that. That Optic Hollow PSA 10 is a $225 card in October based on historical data. Now, not going back further than 2022 though, because 2021 and everything before 2021 was insane. It was the bubble, right? So it was leading up to the bubble and it was the bubble. So
yeah, eventually, like when economics gets figured out, obviously we have just survived a massive bear run. And so like when there is a bull run, we're going to have to change the way we do this to percentage gain rather than card gain, because you won't be able to look at previous years with the same amount of strategy. But for where we're at right now, we're pretty confident that projected price in October or the projected price here is really accurate, as far accurate as we can make as what we do as professionals. Paul and I do this for a living almost. Paul does this for a living for sure. I have a full-time job for clarity's sake, but I'm just saying, like, we do make good money from this, and this is our best representation of what we do.
Yeah, good point. And so For those of you who missed it in the live stream, if you're listening on the podcast app, you could rewind it. But someone in the SDL Sports Memorabilia live on IG says, what was the first card on Zion? It was the Mosaic base PSA 10. 2019 Mosaic base 209 PSA 10. Now that is a yawn of a card. Like that is the most boring card. And I think I like to make this point every once in a while with Lefty. So we would like before the formula. And for those of you who don't know, the formula is our tool at nooffseason.com for premium members. Before the formula, we would have, there's no way, like we would have laughed at this card. Like we could have seen this card in a value box for $10 and we could have seen like 20 of them and we would have totally passed it. Right. And now it's like the formula, since we started running cards through the formula, it tells us which cards have the best ROI and it ranks them that way. And now I'd love to buy 10 of these for $10 each. I'd make close to 70% on that. So,
and it works. We've been doing it all year long.
Yeah, we talked about one at the beginning of the show where Lefty did it with Gardner Minshew. And we talk about it every show on how you can do it. So we're talking about how it works. We're giving you our success stories and we're telling you what you could do now, right? So let me know, does any other show do that? I don't think so. Okay. Last minute football card snipes is what I'm calling these next three cards, because again, I think you got to get in on these. Definitely if not today, definitely in the next like 10 days, because after the next 10 days, I fully expect everyone to be holding these cards. And for those listing these cards, I think they're going to sell for a lot more. So let's start with the least ROI first, but it's the biggest name player out of these three. And it is boring. In fact, I've been criticized often of being boring with my sports card plays, and that's fine. I will take a 44% ROI all day, every day, and be boring about it. And that is the Joe Burrow 2020 Prism Base 307 PSA 10. Believe it or not, the pop count is not that high on these. Like it's not as high as you would think. And it's $122 buy-in cost right now. Turner on Lefty cards, shout out in Turner on Lefty cards on Monday. Go back and listen to that on Spotify or go to leftycards.com and you can find it on YouTube and watch the episode with Lefty and Turner. They went through the formula and did a great job. And this was one of the cards Turner said he was buying. Lefty looked at it and said, "Bro, you're winning. Like you're winning huge." And he was underneath the target cost of the formula. He was underneath the target cost. And I think the ROI has gone up since you guys recorded that episode. That's so good. He's winning huge. I bought two of these at Fanatics Fest for $125 each. So I'm right there, right? 122, 125 on two of them. So 44% ROI, because this is a $220 card most Septembers. Like last September, $220 card. And that was when Burrow was injured. Like he couldn't really even drop back in the pocket well because he had the calf thing. He wasn't playing well. The Bengals got off to a bad start. $220 card in September. So that's a 44% ROI. Just so with that card, you're looking at buying it right now and flipping it in the next 2 or 3 weeks and making 44%. You're welcome. Next card might be a little bit riskier because it's a little bit harder for a skill position player to start off well and drive their pricing up. But even when we ran this card through the formula, it gave us a 46% ROI, which led me to believe this is a card to buy if you can get it for this target cost, because this player still has a lot of momentum coming off his phenomenal rookie season last year, and that's Puka Nacua. His 2023 Prism Silver 357 PSA 10 at a $104 target cost should be a $190 card. Now, we don't have data on that from last September, but we do a couple different things. We look at the average sale price of that card in the last 30, 60, 90, 180 days. And we look at last September's data from players like Puka Nacua. So players whose rookie Prism Silver PSA 10 going into their second year at a top player in their position on a top passing offense. And then we come up with the target sale price of $190. So that's a 46% ROI if you want to get some juice on Puka Nacua. And then
I love
the number one card. Do you want juice on Puka Nacua, Lefty?
I could get some on that.
Puka juice?
I could get some Puka juice on me.
Okay.
I mean, what?
All right, let's go back to
The AI shortcut is going to be like, what?
The Puka juice emoji. I don't want to see what that one is. Jalen Hurts 2020 Select 50 Concourse PSA 10, keeping it above board here. $27.50 target cost. And that is a $65 card in September. 89% ROI. Love it. Alandis Brassel likes the Puka call. And Hester Sports Cards is in the house. Holy City Sports. SDL Memorabilia. BF Sports Cards. We got people joining from all over the place. I love it. All right, those are our top five.
They heard about the Bo Nix money.
I mean, get in on the Bo Nix play, everybody. Bo Nix buy alert. Should I send a buy alert out to everyone who signed up for the sell alert? Text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727. Maybe there'll be a Bo Nix buy alert. Maybe I'll drop a little bit more of this knowledge at nooffseason.com. Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Are you ready to start grading your cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. Lefty, before we get into, I want to talk real quick about releases this week. This might be something you and I start doing more often. But before we do that, shouldn't the people want to help Turner out? Would you say? Yeah. Tell the people a little bit about Turner real quick, and then I'll tell everybody in the nooffseason.com fam how to help Turner out.
Yeah, Turner is just he's a very awesome dude. I've known him since he was in 6th grade. He basically been my intern in the sports card department. I've created a monster as like Turner came to me about a year ago. Was like, how do I make money in sports cards like you do? And I'm like, dude, get it. You just come along with us. So he is now fully entrenched in what we're doing. Now he's just doing some stuff with us, working with us. He was at the National with us. He's full on no off season fanboy. He listens to every single episode we put out, and he's making good money. Pretty sure he paid for part of his bills. I don't want to. He has some significant bills for his next stage of life. I don't want to ruin anything for him, but he paid for a significant bill with his sports card money. So that's probably all I need to say there.
All right, congrats. So if you want to support Turner, another thing you can do, and this doesn't only support Turner, but it helps you out, because we've been providing a service for free at nooffseason.com that I haven't talked enough about, as if we weren't already the best ever in the history of anything. The Alpha Collection says we all aspire to be Paul. I'm going to give you even more reason. So when you go to nooffseason.com and you scroll down the page, couple quick scrolls, you'll see top sports card auctions. We're curating featured eBay auctions of the week, ending at various times. Featured whatnot auctions of the week, ending at various times. And featured Fanatics Collect auctions of the week. When you go to nooffseason.com and click on any of these auctions and buy from these auctions, you are benefiting Turner. You are directly benefiting Turner and his efforts. Because why? Because Turner is updating these auctions.
Oh, that's sick.
On a daily basis for us at nooffseason.com. He is the one that I am working directly with to talk about which types of players and their cards are the right cards for the right player at the right time. And what are the auctions that we recommend our audience bid on right now and try to win that we think they can make money on in the future? And this is free. This is free. So he has done a phenomenal job. Shout out to
Lamar
Interner.
Jackson card, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you got Lamar Jackson in here. Here's a Caitlin Clark, AR, Wemby, Burrow, Maxey.
Dude,
I mean,
I have
great
a
stuff
lot
here.
of these cards. That's good. That's a good sign.
He's got a Bedard, Young Guns, Rodigrade, Bryce. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean, right? Like it takes time to find these cards. So we're providing this service, and we're curating 3 of the top marketplaces: eBay, Whatnot, and Fanatics Collect. So great job, Interner. And I just wanted to shout out both Lefty and Interner for their efforts, but Turner just doing a phenomenal job. All right. I mean, I could just continue to promote nooffseason.com all day, every day, but I won't talk about anything like our card grading services where you can submit any number of cards to our website for only $25 a card, and that includes everything. And that's for premium members only. Get a free 30-day trial if you're not already a premium member. I won't talk about that. So Lefty, let's get into the release calendar. Before we end the show.
You're a goober, dude.
All right. So according to Beckett, how often is that phrase said anymore? By the way, it's not like a phrase that you hear very often, according to Beckett. But
not unless you're talking to somebody who collected cards in the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, exactly. According to Beckett.
According to my Beckett magazine.
Beckett.com. Believe it or not, Beckett.com, like, I don't know what happened to Cardboard Connection. Can somebody please find out what happened to Cardboard Connection? Because when I go to their web, they used to be the best.
They're on.
They used to be the best at checklists, release calendar. I don't know what happened. Did their website roll back or something on accident? Like, it's just not good right now. But we wish them well. I hope everyone's safe and healthy over there. Because if you guys need help with anything, let us know. Cardboard Connection could still be the best, but I just when I try to find stuff on Cardboard Connection for the last few months, it has not been as good as Beckett. So I'm going to Beckett.com. So weekly release calendar this week. Let's just go to what I think probably Lefty's most excited about today. Guess what releases today, Lefty? You barely mentioned this on Lefty Cards.
Topps Chrome Tennis, baby.
Tell everybody, are you excited about Topps Chrome Tennis? If so, why?
I'm not excited about the wax. You know, let's just be clear about that. It's if this is the first show with us, I am not buying Topps Chrome Tennis wax. What I am excited about is I will be acquiring at some point, probably not now, but at some point I will be acquiring a Carlos Alcaraz and a Yannick Sinner Topps Chrome autograph PSA 10, because these cards are ones that I believe are going to hold value for forever. Like, this will be the card going forward that people are like, wow, this is the best player in the world. I need an autograph, and they're going to pay thousands of dollars for it in the future. That's where this Carlos Alcaraz and this Yannick Sinner card are going to sit. And this is the biggest Topps Chrome set that has come out from a tennis perspective in a long time. And so Slab Stocks is excited about that. I'm excited about that. There's a lot to like about this release, and I'm sure there's going to be people in this release that we don't even really know about yet. So, and if Yannick Sinner, if you saw the update the past couple days, he actually got found out to be taking steroids, and so his cards could take a bump. What I am excited about that is he actually wasn't even taking the steroids. His trainer was taking the steroids, and when he had him on like the cream on his hands, Yannick got some on his skin, and they found 1/1 billionth of a percentage of this steroid on Yannick's skin, and they disqualified him for taking steroids. I'm like, yo, dude, 1/1 billionth of a percentage of a steroid on his skin, not even in his blood. What are you doing? Like, that is a strict way to look at that. But anyway.
Wow. That's weird.
But if you just read the headline, it says Yannick Sinner disqualified from the last 2 tournaments and taking his points because he's on steroids.
That's messed up.
I'm just assuming nobody knows what's actually going on, and then they're gonna dump his value, and I'm gonna pick it up.
All right, there we go. That's a good play right there. A little nugget Lefty dropped into the release calendar talk. Carlos Alcaraz Net Pro autos from 2022 out of 250 PSA 10s go for a lot of money. Like over
This one will go for more than that.
$3,800 is what they go for in PSA 10. That's a lot. Yeah, okay. So Lefty says this one will go for because of the Topps Chrome brand. I mean, neither one of them have an RC shield, which I guess doesn't matter in tennis. But I think the Topps Chrome brand, obviously, more recognizable than Net Pro for sure. All right, other releases this week. Upper Deck Credentials Hockey, with all tons of respect to my Canadian brethren in the hobby, who I know are probably excited about most things hockey card related. I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that is not a very significant release. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one. 2023 Panini One Football. So this is kind of an example of the fact that like 2023 releases are still coming out. We're talking about Bo Nix 2024 Panini Instant card, and then Panini is still releasing 2023 rookie cards. Panini One probably it's a higher end release, 1 card per pack, 1 pack per box. Hobby boxes pre-selling on eBay for around $400. So not cheap, big roll of the dice there. I'd rather take that $400 and put it into an it'll get you almost an Anthony Richardson Prism Silver PSA 10. So I would say instead of trying to pull an Anthony Richardson auto out of Panini One and only getting 1 card, I would say just go get a Prism Silver PSA 10. Later this week, actually a week from today, Topps Chrome Basketball. And we're skipping Leaf Electrum Multisport. That just doesn't excite me. We're just gonna skip it. Topps Chrome Basketball is a big one.
About that.
Say that again.
Nobody would have been pissed if you had not said anything.
Okay, good. 2023-24 Topps Chrome Basketball. This is the release, and I will say, Ziggy and I were talking about this at Fanatics Fest. We were both just miffed by how Fanatics didn't at least drop one of these base Wemby cards in the VIP gift bag. I mean, we spent $400 on the VIP and the gift bag was crap. I mean, we had to hustle our own, what's off to make some of the plays that we made to make the VIP early access even worth it. Right. And like we had to buy stuff from Topps and then make plays at the show to make the fact that we could get in early as VIPs worth the VIP admission, whereas the National just gave us some cool cards in the gift bag, right? Why couldn't Topps and Fanatics have dropped 1 base Wemby into the VIP gift bags? That would have been sweet. So the Victor Wembanyama card, I already did my research on this Topps Chrome Basketball. I'm telling you, they're all vomit, disgusting puke other than this Wemby card. Like they look horrible. They look like, if you can imagine the worst non-licensed cards of all time and what they look like, that's Topps Chrome Basketball, except for this Wemby card.
Yeah,
which is kind of coincidental because that's the only one I think people are going to really even care about anyway. But I mean, hobby boxes, I'm sure people are going to buy into breaks and be stupid with their money.
This Topps Chrome card right here could be the Shohei, Ellie De La Cruz. Like the base of that card could be the card that we just buy raw and grade forever.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. I mean, as soon as those things hit the market, you can bet I'm running them through the formula. And, people have pre-ordered cases, boxes. We hit that on the basketball card market update a couple weeks ago. And they're not super expensive to get a hobby box on the secondary market right now. You can get one for less than $500, but I'd rather spend $500 on Wemby base singles and the grading, of them and make money that way that should surprise no one who's ever listened to the show. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a very, very notable release. Very notable release because, could that bring his base prism down momentarily to where it's better to go buy his base prism after that release comes out and then and continue to grade those, because the formula still has like a 30% or more ROI on those from a raw to grade standpoint, and then go buy the Topps Chrome singles after they've been out on the market for a while, maybe in around Christmas when everything's cheap. There's just a lot to be excited about, Lefty, moving into the future with making money flipping sports cards. Greggy Boy Cards joined. Cigar and Spirits, Like a Champ, Infinity Trader, Stack of Beauties, Carrie Beth 24, RCN, blah, blah, Autos, Card Vault, Card for Steals. It's hard for me to read the Instagram crap. Sorry. Lefty, do you have anything you want to hit the family with before we hit him with the rock music?
Well, I just wanted to know, I want you to know that I texted Krim and I said, what happened to Cardboard Connection? And he goes, you know what? I actually don't know. So my most informed guy in the hobby doesn't know what happened to them.
But he noticed. Like he didn't go like, what do you mean?
He didn't say, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
knowing
said, who's
Krim,
in charge of that? And he goes, I'm not sure.
Knowing Krim, that at least validates that he's noticed what we've noticed about some slippage over there potentially. I don't want to quote. Okay, Chase, I'm not quoting you. Everybody, I'm not quoting Chase Krim. I'm just inferring that it seems like if Krim would have said to Lefty, what are you talking about? What do you mean? That would have made me think, oh, maybe I'm just crazy. But now I think that maybe something is up with Cardboard Connection. Great people there. I'm not trying to rip on that. I'm just saying, like, they still are like the number one thing I go check, but it just hasn't been the same. There hasn't been the same information there. It seemed outdated. So
if you need help with Cardboard Connection, if you are listening to this, Paul Hickey does great stuff with web hosting. So
thank you, Kendall. I like to think we do great stuff with content, web hosting, everything, right? Yeah. Everybody, thanks so much.
Out.
I mean, no lack of confidence over here at the Sports Card Strategy Show, everyone. Let's go make some money together. Drop a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Give us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. Show us your appreciation. We love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Play the rock music.
Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at No Off Season Card. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.